Welcome to the after party of the grand finale, WTF Bro cast. We just wrapped up
episode 11
D&D campaign.
Yeah,
we achieved something special.
We achieved what it doesn't happen a whole hell of a lot and actually finished a campaign.
I know. I've never played D&D. The first time I actually played, I nurtured the character and I fell in love with the character and I finished the actual campaign.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tim.
I loosely finished the campaign. I mean, you did finish the campaign because I started and we ended it.
Yeah, we finished it. I
it's
mean, we
good.
committed to it.
Yeah. It was a beautiful ending, too.
Yeah.
It's a good place to end it.
I have a lot of memories, man.
There's still a dragon out there.
Yeah. Well, that's what got me into it or interested. It was like, oh, we might slay a dragon or whatever. So first time I talked to Tim, I don't see him. I just talk to him over Discord. We have a Discord.
That is true because you were on the podcast when I wasn't here and I had to clean an episode with you in it. And I remember you talking about, you guys were talking about, because you were at a distillery.
Yeah.
And you brought over like some vodka or something. And he was telling me, this is when we were like starting to branch out and do all the interviews that we do. Which, by the way, we've interviewed some
interesting people,
very interesting people. Bro, this is you. This is all on you, to be honest. Because like,
thank you.
That's you've shown me some really cool people.
Yeah,
they all been cool.
It's interesting.
Oh
yeah. It's fascinating.
And so I had met Dean. I hung out with Dean quite a few times, and I was just like, okay, well, like I think he was into D&D, or I don't know who brought up D&D first between Dean and me, but then I talked to Tim about it, and Tim does like the best thing that any DM could ever do. He sets expectations. No, you said like 5 or 6 sessions or something like that. And I was like, yeah, we'll get to kill a dragon. And you're like, maybe. That's okay. And that was the best answer that you could have ever given anyone who wants to kill a dragon.
Because originally I was trying to wrap it up. I was like, all right, you guys are going to beeline it to the dragon and we're just going to end this and then we're going to do something else so I can restart. That was the whole idea.
DMs don't have full control though of what happens, in the
dice.
And so right, and so
and the players, because I try to get you go one way, y'all go the other way.
Where they move their feet or whatever they go, don't go east or west to the Feywild, and we totally freaking did it.
Yeah,
I was trying to get you into the Feywild first, but you guys were like, yeah.
To your point, Russ. There's still a dragon out there.
Oh yeah,
it's not our problem. We're going to Baldur's Gate, so I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's the next adventurous problem.
I finished my quest and I got paid and I'm out.
Actually, there's 2 dragons we know about now. The white one we were supposed to fight. Oh, well, yeah, but one's our friend.
True.
The white one we were supposed to kill, and then the black one that fucking Noru suplexed through a portal, which was badass.
And that one is in a Fey world, so it's not my problem either.
Well, that black one was clearly not in the Fey realm.
Yeah, but now he's trapped in the Fey realm.
Well, now they're in the Fey realm, and you don't know what's happened there.
All right.
Which means some rivalry.
Which means we're not going back to the Fey realm.
Wow, that sucks, though. It was so cool. That was another cool thing you did, Tim, was bringing us to the Fey realm and giving us a taste of that.
Bro, well, because once I realized when I created Rodney and I started divulging into his ancestry and realized that all the satyrs are like from, and that's why I also learned about elves. Elves originally all came from the Fey realm. Elves, dwarves, and all of them, they were Fey creatures that made their way into the material plane, and that's why they can't be put to sleep or or they have advantage on charms or whatever.
Yeah.
And they originated from the Sylvian, which is in my mind now like an ancient kind of language from the before times. But now, like after they rippled through from the Fey to the material plane, they populated. Now they're just normal. So there's elves mating with humans, and now you got half elves, and there's dwarves, and there's all the species, right?
Yeah.
But originally, it all came from the Fey realm. I guess they're just humans of the material plane, from a loose understanding of the lore behind it.
That's a cool way to look at it.
Yes. And so when I was creating Rodney, I just wanted a satyr. That's where it came from. It was kind of Critical Role with Fern.
Oh yeah.
A fawn-like creature. I was like, that would be cool to create like a fawn creature. So naturally I was like trying to like, well, what's the male version of that? I put male fawn, and then satyr popped up. I'm like, I didn't know how to pronounce that. I was
Mr. Tumnus.
I was going back and forth on things, but then I was like, okay, it's close enough to a fawn or whatever the hell, who cares? And created it, but then I started reading the lore behind it, and I decided to make him a bard. I still don't know why I decided, but yeah. And instead of, because like satyrs are actually monsters that you fight.
Yeah, typically, yeah.
Which would explain the Eldritch Blast, unless I just clicked something wrong on D&D. I don't know. Don't at me, people. But it just evolved to what it was, and I was trying to do a Scottish accent because Fae and Scottish people and all that, like that's kind of where that kind of goes, fairies and all that stuff. And then it evolved into, I guess, Irish or whatever the hell that was.
I must say, it was very tempting when we went to the Fae realm for me to like stick to my persona, like the very pragmatic guy in Get Out, because I was like, I think I can just retire here in the Fae realm and just convince these dudes we stay here and we're done. I had to like play myself as always, being pragmatic and douchey and just okay, get this, go, keep going, do
right.
This.
And the thing with that too is you have Ronnie, who's from the Fae, who literally came to the Fae, and he was like, you are the first thing he saw, when the Fae happened, because when he came from the Fae realm, and that's why he resonated with him, because he saw him and he was like, oh, and he recognized Elf. So he went to him and Slabaz, and he was like, hey, and he's happy. His demeanor is always cheesy happy. He's got a stupid grin on his face. He's a bard. He just wants to make, like a musician, you just want to make everyone happy. You just want to play your music and chill. And this guy just wants to make money, and it's like, that's cool if we make money. I just want to play my instruments and have a good time and stuff. So that was his whole vibe. Animal. Yeah. So, and of course he's a bard, so he's gonna fuck things. So that was his whole vibe. And he's I remember he's trying to break the game when we first played, creating because he didn't know D&D, and the first thing I said, like, what do you want to do? Is like, well, I know there's something in here that I'm gonna break. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You want to create your own reality, but also
he was creating the whole narrative.
I did not understand. I had zero understanding of what D&D is or what the mechanics are. Literally, the first time we played, I only read about it, saw some things. So the first time ever being in it, I didn't understand the boundaries. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm supposed to be here, he's the GM. But doing it, how I learned that, we got better and better. Yeah. But without doing it, you will learn the boundaries by actually playing, because it's a back and forth thing, and he puts stops on you, and you'd be like, oh, so I can't do this. All right, okay, so I can only ask.
Right. That's pretty cool though, that you got the D&D experience by just jumping into the deep end without any.
And that was the philosophy from the beginning. Was like, you know what? He was like, I'm not an experienced GM. I'm not. Cool. I was like, let's just do it, man.
And with that, I still planned on. Because we talked, but I still in the back of my head planned on taking what he even added it, because we were doing this podcast. I was like, I will, I guess, put that somewhere, but I got to talk to him and like, hey, quit making shit up. Right. Like, I'm going to use that. But then he started to actually like kind of, especially in the early episodes, you can, if you listen to it, you could tell that you started to get it, and then you're like, fuck that, I don't even care about that anymore, let's do this or whatever. And I was like, all right, fuck it, I guess I'll just throw that away then, because I didn't care either, because he created it or whatever. And it was just but the whole point of us playing was we were to do it wrong and break the rules, which again, I told you guys earlier that I feel like I really didn't do that until the very end here.
Really?
Yeah, with a lot of things. Not to fast forward through the whole thing. Spoiler alerts. This might be, and this is definitely spoiler alerts. If you're listening to this after party before you're listening, you should listen to the other stuff first. It's rough at the beginning, but if you can power through, hey. But yes, toward the end, our last episode, a lot of the stuff I was doing on the fly. Like, honestly, that whole Fae realm before you got into the portal, to the other, like, I was largely winging that.
That's really cool.
I figured I put undead against you, but I also kind of felt like you're gonna burn through that pretty quickly, and you did. But then I did the 2-headed dragon thing.
There's a banshee in between.
Well,
dude, the banshee. Oh my god, going the wrong way on killing the banshee first.
Tiny choice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, no. Well, I'm talking about like when. Yeah. But when you're in the Fey room and you're trying to come back, like largely all that, even going to the Dark Woods, that was literally the day thing because it's gonna come out different days. So the day thing where it's like we're playing today, and I'm like, I don't have enough material because it's just the day's been going by crazy and hectic. But luckily I was able to get a spot in time today or the day to read some stuff that inspired me, and I was like, I can do this. But I didn't have enough time to like research and find actual monsters and stuff. So I created a monster completely out of the blue.
That was masterfully
done. Was awesome.
And
love the Auster.
That was masterfully
and
done.
Literally while I was describing it, I was like, which is why I stopped, and I'm glad we did the play because that gave me some time to think. And then I was like, oh, okay, it's gonna be like this. And then I just started winging that, and that all happened. And then when you guys went through the portal, whatever, and fought the incubus, by the way, that was also largely kind of flustered here and there.
Oh, damn it.
I will say from the get-go, before you guys disappeared, when you fought the banshee, I always had him as a different creature. Like he was never going to be whatever fucking. I just wanted something creepy. So here's the lore. Here's the deep lore behind this guy.
Okay, behind Jim.
Yeah.
The Jim GM.
Yeah, whatever his name is.
Jim.
So he is an incubus, which if you don't know, like succubus, they're like little devil looking. They're not devils by the definition, but they're charmers.
Mm-hmm.
Like succubus, they usually trick you into falling in love. Yeah, they're the female. Incubus is the male version of a succubus.
Yep.
And they try to lure you in, and they do finish shit. They'll make you kill yourself. They make you kill something else. They're basically kind of controlling you, whatever, or tricking you and all this with usually seduction.
That was a pity play, I guess. Partially, I fell for that. I guess.
Sort of.
But okay, but
he was different before he got the gem.
So more importantly, they're also shapeshifters.
Oh,
because they trick you and stuff, so they can change shape and whatnot.
Fair.
So this is where my mind went to with Maidenkill lore, and where I got the Banshee involved. Is he was cursed by this gem, where he tried to shapeshift himself into a human, but it went wrong, and his memories are gone because everything got absorbed from the Banshee into that gem. So he came out into an abomination, what you guys saw.
Wow.
And then he started to transform again into like a spider-like creature or something else. Where like who knows what he was trying to go into, but he was broken and he couldn't fully do it until he got that gem so he could get back into his original form.
Yeah.
But once he's in original form, he had no need to shapeshift because y'all see him in his true form. So that's what that was going on. And I had that in the back. And that's why I was so glad I got that gem. I was like, yes, I can actually show you the true
You know
form.
what I regret about this? Before we fell into the gate that took us to the Fey realm.
Yeah.
Remember the moment when you guys were doing something and I was going to run back to the room where he was and kill him?
Well, the Banshee.
And then you guys were
we were
like,
running away from the Banshee. And you wanted to kill the guy.
Okay, yeah, because I talked you out of that.
You talked me out of this. I remember this slab was right here. And I was
you
back.
would have had to face
kill his ass.
Yeah, no, you would have had to face it in that form. I made his resistance really high.
In the creepy form?
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. That's another thing. That's another. Yeah, he's an abomination, but he's cursed, but he has a lot of resistance. And I gave him a bunch of legendary shit. I was like, fuck it. I was like, fuck them.
Yep.
And then if we're gonna end it, if we're gonna
Yeah.
end it, we're gonna have we're gonna have a fucking like surprise twist, and that's what it was, right?
Hell yeah.
So I gave him some buffs. And also the reason why you were smiting him is he could not be he could be damaged, but is half damaged with any non-magical weapon.
Right.
You're the only one with a magical weapon.
Sunblight.
And it was radiant damage.
Yeah, but the radiant didn't work with him, but he still got full damage though.
Yeah.
So when you were attacking, it hit. When everyone else is attacking, he's taking half.
Well,
So they were kind of picking at him.
Rodney was Eldritch blasting him too.
Yeah, magic. Yeah, but Ronnie was throwing some weak stuff. I was just having bad rolls. But you were like that's why I was like, if you didn't hit when you had that one round where you didn't hit him at all, and I was like, ooh man, someone might actually die.
I needed Dean's D20 on that.
Because I'm also looking at this. Yeah,
Bardic inspiration.
Yes, the Bardic.
Yeah, because I had him beefed up from what a regular Incubus was, because Incubus then I beefed him up to make it more challenging, and gave him the legendary whatnots, because he was more like a superior Incubus. I was gonna go devil, but I was gonna go more devil, but like that just seemed a little too like devils would want to more like kind of pull you into a contract as opposed to just blatantly fight you.
And I also feel like a devil would probably want to fry bigger fish than just hang out in a stronghold.
He got like succumbed into this. That's in a whatever reason.
Too strong to be defeated by a banshee.
Too mad.
Yeah, he got bewitched, and he was like losing his memory in his mind, which is why he turned crazy. But he was trying to like he was more probably escaping something.
That makes sense.
And then tried to shapeshift into a human, but came across a banshee, and just like when he was trying to shapeshift, she kind of stole or hexed him, and he just had that special artifact that he was supposed to use for something else. But then she did something to like the magic weave just crossed, and it cursed him, and then he couldn't fully transform into like his shapeshifting abilities. So he tried to shapeshift into a human to escape or to trick her, because it just happened so fast. But then he got stuck in that hideous form. He was trying to be like a human, and then he tried to go from a human to like shapeshift into like a giant spider or something. And it was just fucking up. That's why he looked horrendous.
Dude, that's so messed up. Like you escape some horrid fate, probably in the hells because you're an incubus.
Yeah.
And then wrong place, wrong time.
You got hit.
You get bansheed and cursed by this gem thing, and you're just stuck as this monster. Who knows how long? He could have been there for 1,000 years.
Exactly.
The biggest thing for me was, how does he eat food? If he's a normal dude just in a bad place, how does he sustain himself?
Yeah, we throw a piece of bread at his ass.
I made sure that happened, but it's like also
the food.
Before then, what were you doing?
And the point of the food was to give him. It's like you gave him a speckle of a former past, like a memory almost. Mm-hmm. Like he was like, I remember this as he's eating. That was it. Like he didn't really need to eat, but he just knew something, and he took it, and it kind of calmed him back. But also it was a kind of a time duration thing, and then it just bumped right back
Good
up.
Or bad, yeah.
So if we kept feeding him, would he have been able to have like a semi-normal conversation with us?
It would have never been fully like sitting down and talking, but like you probably would have gotten a little more information.
We should have used the food to like lure him out, like throw pizza at the time and he follows.
I would say
piece of candy.
I would have probably made that a high DC, only because he's not interested in food. He was highly interested in the gem, and you guys retrieve his gem because he was lost, because who knows how long he's been in there, but he's been there long enough to be delirious and losing all of his memories. And just wanting a gem, and that whole the portal popping up was
second portal
was the portal for the Fey realm, which Rodney, because Fey creatures can pick that up, and him being a fiend and one who is they can teleport to ethereal planes as well.
Oh, wow.
So he picked it up too, like, hey, there's something there. But he was like, don't go there because you might not come back. Go over here because I could sense the gem, because he could always sense the gem. But he could sense it, but his brain is so scattered.
I had a very regretful moment. Like when we came back from the portal, we landed in that room. And I was like, man, why was I so stupid? I could have said, okay, we decided to go to the room and fuck him up or get him out.
Right, yeah.
But I thought, I was like, man, I should have probably ran outside the fortress, hide the gem outside, bury it, go back, we go to him, we'll fuck up the whole plan.
That would have been a lot of actions and whatnot. But I mean,
I liked
you could have.
That gem jam. I like that he could sniff the gem. I really like that reaction.
Oh yeah.
Did you just think of that?
was
Or
cool.
did
Yeah,
you
well, like a sense. I'm like, how you gonna
Yeah.
sense? But like,
Yeah.
you would.
But you were doing the sniffing noises.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I was like, oh shit,
It's like
oh shit.
Smeagol, you know.
Yeah, dude.
Precious.
No, you
that was good.
performed
That was good.
so well.
Thank you.
Doing
thank
the
you.
creepy things. Not only Jim, when he was morphing into his weird freaky form, but in the dark forest. Before that, when he was like growing extra limbs and eyes and shit like that. But in the dark forest too, with the Ostura, that was so cool.
The Ostura, yeah, completely made up creature by me.
Homebrewed creature. I loved it though.
100%.
That was awesome. Yeah, no, you did great with that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I basically heavily watered down the stats of an undead dragon for those interested, and just made it a 2-head abomination like undead thing.
Hell yeah.
As a player, I'm like, okay, first fight, maybe a confidence builder. Like, what's gonna happen next? And like seeing skeleton dragon.
But
it's like really good escalation.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just epic escalation.
Because this was our last game, and I was like, okay, I have to go all out. And I was gonna drop the dragon on you, but I kind of just hinted it with the dragon popping out. But then I was like, it was a black dragon, and if any of you know, are the worst, like
Toxic.
Bro, no,
You can't kill 'em. They kill you.
Okay,
they are
sorry.
the strongest fucking dragon ever.
Wow.
That's gross.
Yeah, and as a copper dragon, in
Noru's
comparison,
kind of fucked.
yeah, but Noru's got other abilities.
He's got
but
some legendary actions himself.
Yeah, he
So-
does. Real
Noru,
quick, not to derail us.
I mean, all means, that's kind of why we're here. I don't know.
Okay, cool.
No,
I mean, I don't care.
I don't care if you made the black dragon up on the spot or not, because it was so cool from a player perspective. But will you tell us where they ended up? Because I feel like when Noru suplexed the dragon through the portal, they both ended up in a different plane. Not the Fae, not the Ethereal.
No. Noru grabbed him and pulled him out of the portal into the
Fae realm. Okay.
He was the black dragon was popping his head, like he's just like running into the portal, but then you see this huge maw and then it comes out, and then Noru immediately recognized him because he called him out.
Him. Yeah, he knew him.
He grabbed him by the head and just
So he's stuck in the Fae
threw
realm.
him out.
my house.
They're fighting in the Fae realm. They're fighting in the dark forest in the Fae realm.
Where did Mr. Black Dragon come from?
That
Do we get to know?
I will say this, because they both are portal shifters.
Okay.
When Naru was placing and opening the portal, this black dragon was trying to track him down. So this is a 50-50 on the spot, because I had an idea of this dragon coming out and having a dragon battle, and I didn't want you guys too in it, because I was like, I'm gonna have this high level and this high level fight it out, and it's basically just gonna be a distraction. But then when we got to here, I was like, and Baratus was killing the fucking undead quickly. I was like, this kind of weak, and then we're just gonna jump in the portal, and then there's the one big battle, and that's it. I was like, no, I gotta extend this a little bit, which is why I did the ostrich or whatever the fuck. But then I always had that dragon in the back of my mind, and he was supposed to do a lot more. But then I was like, all right, I will say when he pops through, it was just supposed to be a random dragon. It had no meaning. But then I was like, this would make way more sense if he knew Naru and he was tracking him down.
Old feud.
And it would make way more sense if he was like, just like in a dragon tower, wherever the fuck he was, and all of a sudden got a fucking hint, like, which is why Naru was, I guess, hiding in the Fae realm, if you will. And then he helped you open, and he caught a glimpse or a sense. So then he started his own portal. And because Naru, the whole reason why Naru went with you is like, I sense a portal opening, but I have to manipulate it. Otherwise, you can end up anywhere.
And I bet he knew.
So he was manipulating the portal to go to the material realm. He got a ping wherever he was, the black dragon. So he created his portal to intersect with his portal.
Yeah.
And that's when he met. And he was going through his own portal to come out of the Fae realm portal that you were to get back home. And then that's when that happened. and he
Dude.
threw him out.
So
yeah.
Noru
And all this lore happened vaguely on the spot.
You gave me some
it was
inspiration,
earlier.
too.
Yeah, thank you.
So Noru pretty much risked his life opening the door
to get you guys
and
back home.
giving a track on himself
Yeah.
for this guy.
Yeah, because you're right. He probably knew that doing this for us would send a ping out to the Black Dragon.
That's why he always uses his minions to go open portals.
Pip.
Dude, yeah.
But with
So another thing about those, he got to the Fey realm. There's a bunch of lore that I kind of just blew up on the spot.
You gave me an idea real quick before I forget.
Go ahead.
It's not.
I would say that possibly their old feud was that Noru tricked the Black Dragon into going to, like, let's say the Hells and trapped him there.
Interesting.
And that's why he was so eager to get back at it, and why he was eager to seek for his portal connection in order to get back to the Fey realm.
Maybe.
The biggest,
Interesting.
the most,
You made me think of that when you were talking about it. Sorry,
of
go
all
ahead.
the games that I've ever played, of all the strongest people in all of those games that involve dozens, hundreds, thousands of people, it's been the intelligence gathering. Like, it's been the weird spy shit that leads to other stuff.
Yeah. See, I just created a whole
Someone
goddamn
is opening up a portal. Oh, I know that now, and I can jump on it, you know?
Yeah.
And Naru's just gonna be like, oh, you want to come here with me? like grab him
He
out.
fucking
Yeah.
suplexed his ass.
He saw the threat. He was like, "Oh no!"
Beautiful.
And he was jumping on the opportunity.
The gods are fighting.
Yeah, you know, essentially, yeah. I mean, they're
You can-
definitely gods to you guys.
You can tell pretty much we fucked up his life because he was having this peaceful existence, and we showed
That was another thing. That was another thing.
Like Ronnie, he made his own decisions.
Well, no, okay. When I was picking this character,
Look at it however you want. We fucked up his perfect paradise.
Yeah, his tree home with all his little servants.
so I did
Yeah.
find like a table of service. I'll get to that in a second.
Please do.
When I was picking Noru, because I was like, you guys are going to the Fey realm, you should meet somebody important.
Right.
That was the whole concept, and I was like, you know what? If they're not gonna fight a dragon, or if I'm not gonna fast forward to the dragon, because I had you guys killing the dragon, but I was gonna do some weird portal warp. I was actually gonna even have you guys go to Avernus.
Oh shit.
I was gonna have the Incubus like pop in. I was gonna have originally they send you the Fey realm dragon sends you to a cold place and then just basically toss the creepy guys. Like, I think this belongs to you in a stupid cheesy way or
Happy
something.
it turned out this way. Now I'm very happy.
And then he was just gonna like see you and then just snatch the thing from him, turn into the Incubus, then portal plane you all into Avernus, and then you be in his realm, and then you're just gonna fight there. And then
That would have been intense.
yeah, I was gonna start doing some crazy shit, but then it just played out how it was.
That's plot gymnastics.
Twice the DM tried to kill us.
I mean,
It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
No, it was good content.
Yes.
Yeah. Now for his servants, so fairy dragons, they just exist. And the whole thing with Naru is he came there and probably like met a couple of them, but then the fairy dragons are very tribes. This is what I was getting to when I was creating a character for Naru. I was like, it's gotta be a powerful creature, and then a dragon just hit me, and I was like, because dragons could turn into people.
Shapeshift, yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? This should be a dragon. And I know there's good dragons. They're usually the metallic kinds. So I looked at a table and I just went down the list. And then I was like, if he's going to be in the Fey realm, it's got to be something interesting. I got the copper dragon, and it says in the little table thing that they are fascinated with Fey creatures, especially bards. Like, it literally says that.
Wow.
That's why him and Rodney were like the buddy.
Yeah.
I was at, and then I saw the fairy dragon, and I think I heard this on another. It might have been Rick's thing, I don't know, or a pseudo dragon or something similar. And they're pranksters, they're little fuckheads, right?
The little fucks.
Bunch of minks.
So I was like, all right, they should meet him, and they take it to the copper dragon. I was like, but he should be in disguise, because why is he just gonna be like almost huge copper dragon? Like, why would he do that?
Right.
And then that's when I started thinking about the rivalry. But I put that in the back burner and the whole dragon thing or whatever with the portal. And then it wasn't till like we were in mid game, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do this.
No,
Because
that
fuck
was
it.
okay, that was the best. That was. I shouldn't say this twice, but like that was also the best call. Okay, like we had
Fair.
fought a banshee. First scream knocks down half our party.
Yeah,
Like
no,
that-
banshees
that is
are
tough.
brutal.
Like that is its own type of hell. Okay, and then
They
we got
usually kill one out of 5 or 1 out of
A-
4, like almost guaranteed.
Kill.
killing it, after failing to kill us, and we killed it. Like we're desperate. We're like our health is down. Our spells are down. Like we're desperate, and like it was like a hell to heaven moment, but we
Yeah.
didn't know that yet. We went to the Feywild in a magical portal, and we had a benevolent dragon.
Yes,
And it was like
very
just like
nice.
it was night and day. It was like
Yeah.
the banshee was
I
so
was-
scary, and
Yeah.
then
Really
I had a
cool.
good feeling the dragon would be good or like helpful to us at least. And he loved the bard, and it's like, oh gosh, we got an in.
Yeah, right. And the thing is, I was really planning on you guys doing the Fey Realm first before that, but obviously, like any DM, like the players are not going to follow what you think.
Right.
But it worked out so cool that
It did work out.
Reacted.
It did actually work out, and that's the beauty of this game is like
The
you
DM
guys.
Okay.
You guys
Hell yeah.
We made it.
Doubt it.
We made it work
because
out.
I
Right.
could have forced you guys into this, and I was like, no, I have to let the game play. I have to let them make decisions, and they're gonna fuck around and find out. I was like,
Right.
maybe they actually die. I don't want that to happen because, especially with the canon and the other game they're playing, where I was like, oh, the salty digs. But I mean, it technically doesn't need. No, it does because they had fucking portraits. Well, actually, okay, it only needs one of them because one of them has to make the portrait.
But if we all died, it wouldn't.
Yeah, it would have been bad.
When that demon guy came out, I was like, fuck. And then when he started summoning things, and I was like, I guess we're going out with a bang. We're all gonna die. I literally thought Tim is gonna wrap this
No,
up by
I think
just dying
all of us
gloriously.
thought
Yeah,
we were
I'm
gonna
getting
die at
TPK.
some point.
Yeah,
I did beef him up a lot.
I thought
It gave him a lot
most.
more.
I thought the worst case scenario was like, I thought maybe one of us will survive and escape cowardly and run. It was like, at the end, roll credits.
Hell yeah.
I was like, shit.
Honestly, I was so down to just roll. Once I got the magical sword, the Sunblade, I didn't care anymore if we died or lived. I
That
was gonna
was,
fight until I
clinch.
died.
I
I
mean,
didn't care
obviously,
what
yeah.
he threw at us.
That
was
weapon mattered a lot.
Dude, it
in
was
multiple
awesome.
fights.
It was
Okay, that
so
was-
dope.
I think we wouldn't have
take it
achieved
away.
anything without that sword.
Well,
It's
to
good.
be fair, we always had
Tim.
Rodney because
Yeah.
he
He has
saved
bad-
our asses with the Banshee before we got the sword.
Yeah, because she
Eldritch
also.
Blast.
Yes.
Well, okay. She also had that resistance of if you not have a magical weapon, like you're only doing half damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
And
pointless.
yeah, so or if you had magical effects, and Rodney was the only one doing
Yep.
actual
Boom, boom,
attacks.
boom.
Absolutely.
So like,
While
imperative.
is just like, Ronnie, you're not doing anything. You're stupid. Why are you here?
Yeah,
And, like
yeah.
he
The entire
saves our
campaign,
fucking
yeah.
bacon with the banshee.
That's my dynamic with Rodney. It's like, he's like the goofy
It's a
guy.
love-hate.
I'm always harping on him.
yeah.
I don't hate him. It's just like I
Older
worry about him, but
sibling,
I'm always
younger
harping on his ass.
sibling, kind of-
Yeah.
It was like, come on, man, with your shit.
Like you're
But we-
taking care of him almost because he
Yeah.
popped out of the
Oh, dude,
Feywild and
There
saw
were some
you.
fights before when he was completely wounded and everything, and I'm
Oh,
like,
man.
rescue. I'm like doing all the fights.
To be
with
fair, that we
the-
were still young in the D&D, and I was
Yeah.
like, I was playing like all the characters, and I had no idea how to play a bard.
Yeah,
And
so
then I
that's why
started
it sucks.
realizing some things, and then I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing this, and then yeah. But
That's why
especially,
when you listen to earlier episodes, Rodney
they
was
suck.
like sucking
oh yeah.
because he wasn't.
Also, I
full
was rolling
potential.
low. Yeah, I was
he
also
wasn't
rolling
full
low.
potential.
Yeah.
So I'm taking all the damage, doing all the fights, killing shit. Me and
But
me
yeah,
and Millie,
but
Rodney always getting like hurt.
Yeah,
and
Rodney
we
was
save him like
always
at
funny.
the end. Yeah, I was like,
Oh my
okay, you're
God.
alive. So that's
The
why I
damsel in
worry about
distress.
him. You know,
but Slabaz was always like, he's trying to play a fighter or barbarian running into the fucking danger. I was like, bro, you're a fucking. That's when we started playing, when we brought them in. Not to think that I was picking on you or anything, because I wasn't. I was playing like how the characters would react, and
Most
you were
familiar.
always in the front. You were always like, "Oh, I'm gonna run up a stab." I was like, "Well, you're in front of me. I'm gonna
Barbarian
swing," and then I
Hell
would
yeah.
roll. I would
As a
roll.
rogue.
I would roll great, and you would get wrecked. and you're like, why are you picking on me like this or whatever? Like you're hitting him like, why are you attacking me or whatever? Blah, blah. I was like, you're running straight forward, and then you're not using your characteristics.
I know, but you have to consider our dynamic. It was like me, Rodney, we're both like, freaks. We're not like tanks.
Yeah.
And then Millie, she was like, she has some magic powers and shit. So it's like someone had
she was saving us most of the time.
But also someone had to assume like jumping ahead. So
it makes
like,
a lot of sense.
It was kind of like a weird choice situation.
You were
but now I don't have to do that.
Yeah, Slabaz was trying to be the martyr hero, if you will, without being a martyr, but he was literally getting himself wrecked.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, you have 3 high damage squishy players in your party.
You remember
the total party?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you remember that room what we walked into? There was that weapon that keeps shooting. It was like in the middle. It keeps reloading itself.
I think there was 2 of them.
It was hilarious. Like I forgot, but we got hurt, man. It was like,
that wrecked us.
And then healers. Healers in
Healers.
your
There was no
healer.
healers. The
But
bard was a healer.
Millie was able to heal a little bit.
It was just like
As a
with
sorcerer?
your
I forgot what she was.
She was a sorcerer, yeah.
It was like barbarian. That's the biggest takeaway
weird.
that I'm going to try to remember. It's like, Dean, you want to play a barbarian?
Oh
You
no,
really
I don't want to play barbarian. But as the party
I mean,
developed,
it's fun. It's fun.
but as the party developed, you guys showed up, and now there's a barbarian. There's all like I didn't have to jump in the front at all. I
Yeah.
just sit back and
That's why I picked
And
barbarian.
you got really good stealth shots. Or
Yeah.
sneak attacks.
Yeah, dude.
2 at least critical sneak attacks.
And you see, I didn't
this
know those early on,
last
so it's
session.
like the new things I discovered.
Right.
I would, just learning experience, obviously.
Hey, that's
But like
appropriate.
early on, I didn't use any of those benefits because I didn't know.
Yeah, this whole thing has been
Fuck that
learning experience. I guess quick around the table, what was the biggest learning experience for you say through this whole game, if you will? We'll start with Slabaz.
For me, like now I know distinctly very well, it's like how to play your character, meaning stay within your strength. If you're like a cowardly, sneaky guy, you stay in the back. If you are like, it's like I learned how to act my character. That's a big takeaway for me.
Hell yeah.
Like in my mind, truly, I have to impersonate that thing and stay within my roles and take advantage of those roles.
Definitely.
Like, I don't have to be a hero and jump in front because my heroism can be interpreted differently as of stay the fuck back and do that sneaky thing you can do or magic or whatever you do.
Oh yeah.
That was a big takeaway for me.
Hey, for real. About you, Russ?
For a lot of the same for me, really. This was the first real, I don't want to say real campaign, but like first campaign I got into that I really got invested into that felt like D&D to me. The other 2 times that I tried it, it felt more like the other players wanted to make it more of a board game instead of, a role-playing tabletop RPG.
Which there's nothing really wrong with that.
There isn't.
But I mean, it's just who you're playing with and like how it turns out.
Right.
'Cause-
And this gave me the opportunity to really like
Role play.
sink into a character and be somebody else for a couple hours, and that was a lot of fun. I like I was saying at the end of the session, I didn't want to love Baratus, but I went through the painstaking effort of giving this goofy accent to him, and it made me love him
It
because
worked.
it was so
worked.
silly.
And okay, there's playing a low intelligence character, and there's playing a low intelligence character smartly,
Thank you.
and you totally did that.
Thank you.
Russ.
Nice.
No, that takes intelligence to figure out what somebody with those skills could do. It's a whole nother type of problem that's
Yeah.
worth doing. And when I watched Critical Role and I saw Grog being
Oh, yeah.
played by that guy,
Travis
Willingham, he played a dumb character very, very smartly, and he almost died many times. Okay, but
Yeah.
also he played it smartly enough that it worked, and he had a way of moving the plot along.
Right. With
That
the
worked.
cursed sword epidemic thing he had going on.
That was a great subplot, but
Yeah.
also just like, hey, we're shopping too much, or hey, we're talking too much. Let's fight things, you know? And it just really moved that whole plot along of the whole group. And that player where it's like, oh, it's fake stupidity, but it's like it's an underlying intelligence that was very, very important to everything else that happened. It was like a required component almost.
Hell yeah.
Well, hence
You
the
did
role
that.
playing element,
Veritas
you know.
Russell.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like you did that.
Thank you, man.
You
I
nailed
appreciate that.
that
That
shit.
was a huge inspiration for it. I mean, everyone who plays a barbarian and has seen Critical Role wants to be Grog. I wanted to make it my own, you know.
Right,
Make my
right.
own
And the
version of
humor,
barbarian.
too. Also, like
Yeah,
nailed
the
it.
not cooking or
Yeah, oh, yeah.
wanting to cook, but
Terrible
not being able to
cook.
cook. Yeah. How about you, Zach?
Yeah,
what
yeah.
would you say is one of the biggest things you learned through playing this character of yours, if you will?
There's an old saying, and it's not really personal to me. There's always an old saying. It's read the room. You know, when you're trying to do a joke as a comedian, like read the room. When you're trying to convince everyone of something, read the room. When you're trying to identify a threat that may or may not be there, like read the room, you know? And so as a high intelligence character, I could try to do that sometimes and try to be careful. Sometimes it was boring and sometimes it was helpful, you know? But it's just like, I'm not just my own, as a player, I'm not just my character. I'm my character reading the room and trying to decide what the best next action is.
Right. Instead of like you, Zach, reading the room, Cal, Tarnash.
And so
Reading.
I would randomly, and I'm bad about this, I was like, can I metagame in a podcaster? Like I legitimately asked it, you know, because I want to give somebody else some good advice, but it's just like, no, you can't always say something to someone when you want to. You have to react to everything that's going on.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird balance with the freedom of D&D.
Mhm.
Like your character.
With rolling and with your character decisions, there's like 2 degrees of freedom that you would never get in real life.
Yeah.
Ever.
But
You know?
you're also, if you want to play it right, you as a player are limited in some ways by what your character would or wouldn't do.
Yeah.
That's another layer of complexity to what makes D&D D&D.
I think that's the main theme is like, developing the skill to actually role play,
Yeah.
which is, it sounds easy, but I think it's hard because you're literally we're sitting on tables. Like I hear what you're saying, I can see, but like I have to like stop
Yeah, and you as
and then
you
become
as
a character
player,
and try to look through the characters. Like
this is
I'm gonna imagine that I didn't hear what you said,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna have to say, oh, I know this much, and I
Yeah.
have to react with this
Yeah,
much, even though
definitely.
I'm see in front of
To
you.
not
I
metagame,
hear you say,
have to read the room
Yes.
through your character's
Acting-
eyes. It's very
acting and role playing at that level, it's like literally like you have to become somebody else.
that's the big thing about veteran players. Is, and I'm not calling myself a veteran player, but being able to metagame enough, but take that away and be like, all right, what would my character know?
Yep.
Because like I could describe a banshee, like I say, like this ghostly female elven thing, and you as a player might be like, oh, I know that's a banshee, but would your character know that?
Yeah, you have to eliminate
And
that.
yeah,
knowledge.
you gotta back up and be like, all right, he's describing this. I don't know what this is. So you either have to like do intelligence checks or stuff like that to kind of figure out before you attack, or is your character like Barrett is just, I don't know what this is, but it's evil. I'm gonna kill it.
Yep.
And then you swing it a couple times before you realize, okay, this isn't working or whatever, and then maybe
Or
I'll
not
change
backing
strategy.
down.
You have
Yeah.
to ignore the knowledge that you know.
Yeah, you gotta ignore the
and
player
dumb
knowledge.
yourself
Yeah.
to your characters. Like I don't know.
That's where the real challenge is.
the barbarian can explore with perhaps the least consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of the time.
a lot of times, yes.
But like when you mentioned like reading the room and trying to like like I was watching Critical Role and I was trying to watch it very carefully, and there were times when they were metagaming and Matt Mercer was like trying to encourage them to not metagame and not target. Like you have to do legitimate communications in character to inform other people.
And I'm trying to get you guys into that too, which is you know.
So as a DM in an earlier session, you said, for example, you said like, Ronnie's drawn to the one door, you know, and I was like, oh, I think I know what this is. I think I called the Feywild or the Fey portal for whatever reason. I think I may have gotten lucky there, or you just watched some.
Yeah, I do remember like one of you definitely kind of mentioned something.
It was a little too quick.
But I was you know playing Ronnie, and he's not gonna like. You're in a creepy fortress. You're there for a job to clear out. He has a tickle that's pointing this way. That weird fiend, the incubus, has a tickle pointing that way. Obviously, the incubus wants you to not go there because he knows in the back of his mad mind, he's like, if they go that way, they may not come back, and I need them to find my gem.
Right.
And Ronnie's just over there like, that seems familiar. And then you guys kind of just fucked off and went to the banshee anyway.
Well, that was a good side character incentive, you know. Like he knew exactly. It shouldn't be that's the main villain, but like we only knew him as a side character at first, and that was a good incentive kind of thing. But like you said, like Ronnie was drawn to the one door, and as a player, I'm like, ooh. I asked, Ronnie about where he was from. I was curious about that, and he said the Feywild.
You were digging, and you were spot on. But like, Ronnie's not gonna be like, oh yeah, there's a Fey portal over here, because he wouldn't know either.
Right. But
he senses it, but he's still young enough to like not know. It's not like he's opening portals to the Fey.
He only went through the one.
So I had to cushion it. I was like, as a player, I have a suspicion, but as my character's never been in the Feywild. He doesn't know what's going on. So I shouldn't have done this, but I asked to roll a certain check, and I should have been like, okay, Cal's picking up on Ronnie.
You should really like an insight check, or maybe an investigation, or you could be like, I kind of want to like, while they're doing this, I'm going to go check the room or whatever door. And then that could have been the whole thing too.
And so it put me in an awkward situation where like I have a guess as a player, but my character probably shouldn't know that. And so I was trying to turn it into a role. And
that's why I think metagaming does not belong in the RPG.
Right.
It belongs in like board games and tabletops because you're strategy playing and all that, But RPGs, like if you want the true experience of like real time, real life surprise, even if you die, it's a win because it's like you lived an experience and the surprise and everything, and it happens. It's like, oh my God, this is like. You have that's why you have the memory of living through that character.
Yeah.
If you meta game, it's just like you're cheating life.
Yeah. It breaks the immersion.
Exactly. But tabletop, you're playing like Warhammer and all that stuff, or board games. You're not impersonating. You're like leading certain things like a chess game.
Which is why, as a DM. Now that I'm a DM, any game that I've played, any other D&D game, and I know I've played a game with us too, in there he's kind of lenient on the rules here and there, which is cool because I don't want my character to die, but I'm not married to my character in a sense. I mean, I say that maybe I'll I don't know, really be really upset, but I doubt it. I'm not, as a DM, I don't care if my character dies. I see it as a new opportunity to expand on a different character in a different role and a different acting kind of.
Yeah.
I want my characters to have a great life and die a glorious death. And I was
never be afraid of the death.
Yeah, I was never interested in metagaming, even in tabletop. I played Warhammer and stuff. The biggest joys I get from the games that I remember is like I didn't give a shit. It's like I have this army, I'm in this situation, we're playing, I'm moving. And you have like that whole memory and story that going through that adventure.
Yeah.
And even if you lost, your army has been decimated. And I remember those awesome things that I pulled off, and yeah, I lost the game, shit, yeah, you know, that's it.
Right.
But like, I don't want to do the math.
Yeah.
I was never interested. I'm interested in a story.
As a
Yeah.
as a player, it's like I want to be interested in my own character, and you get
Right.
you know, you get familiar with your own character. But you know, the best question that I think I can ask myself is like, if my character is never in danger, how can I care about it? Really?
Yeah.
Like, if
Right.
it's just, is
That's a
it
good point.
just a fad for me? Is it just a ineffectual, you know, like little thing, or are there actually like long-term consequences in a hypothetical?
Right.
Think about the game we
Losing
played.
for this whole
Think about the game we played. Like, even if one of us died and everything, and then it's like now it's an element of drama to the story. Even if I died and you guys survived, or whoever died, and you go to the town, now you have the memory of your lost comrade.
Definitely.
And then whatever happened, what we did, you get town, you go to your romantic relationship, and you have that element of like loss.
Right.
So it's like even my character died, but it's like that story of it is like participating in
man.
your narrative. And then you end, roll credits, it's like a movie, and you have all that ties together.
Definitely.
So nothing is a loss. I participated into the story even
Yeah.
with my death
Right. And
through the memory of the other one.
especially for longer campaigns, that definitely you'll see that play a huge role. Me personally, that what that brings to mind is Critical Role's second campaign. Something very similar to what you just described happens, and the party grows closer over a shared
Yeah.
traumatic death.
Yeah, I mean, we've been playing this for like a year, more than a year.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that we survived this long is a miracle.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, oh my God, it's like you get the feeling, it's awesome, we survived. And if
Yeah.
one of us died, I will carry that memory
Yeah.
throughout the whole thing.
Right.
It's been a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Rodney died, we've been through so much. And
You
I'll
feel it?
carry that was like, I'll keep saying the tales of Rodney, the Fey guy who's like, you know, sad.
Fey guy.
The fake
Yeah.
guy.
Build a statue.
Yeah, the
man
satire
they
guy
call
who played,
Jay.
or if
His Irish accent would go
Yeah,
into it.
What's his,
It's not me,
what was his
I'm
last
Oliver.
name?
Oliver, right?
Oliver.
Rodney Oliver.
Yeah. Or even if he survived and I died, you know, it carries. It's
Yeah.
just like there's so much
That's the
going on.
best part of Rodney
Absolutely.
is his last name.
It's fucking
I'm
long.
so
right.
proud of that stupid
I
name.
wanted you to say it. Okay, Tim, I wanted you to say the
I'll be right. I'll be right back after these.
I saw it
messages.
written. I saw it written, and I was like,
Oh, dude,
Tim,
hold on.
you son of a bitch!
Hold on
What
now.
the-
I got-
can't read
No,
this.
I gotta spell it out for the audience.
Yeah.
So if you're really curious, get your pens and pencils.
Yeah,
It's Ronny, Ronny, Oliveiret, Ulvyreichte.
God damn.
Oliveiret.
I never
Yeah.
seen a Y
And then-
up
and then
into
it
a
was
word that
W.
long, man.
Right.
It was WTF, bro. What were the numbers? What are the numbers on this?
6187.
6187.
No, hold on. I got
Dial us up on the internet.
Yeah, 6187.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't look us up by the last name of Rodney because you're not gonna.
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
do
no.
that. WTF Bro 6187 is our YouTube. Go there and you should be able to find
We have links to our podcast
yeah.
in there,
links to all of our
all
stuff.
our socials and shit.
At the very least, you can see our you can see the logo so you know what you're looking for when you're looking for us on other
It's-
platforms.
It's the one cool logo you won't find anywhere else.
So I was told by the DM this might be our last session for a while. And I was kind of sad, you know. And I'm like, okay, well maybe I could do a liturgy. like give a
Liturgy.
poem
Church.
at like a wake, you know, like okay, this so and so is dead or whatever.
A
Such and such.
eulogy.
Yeah, actually, the epitaph. You're
Oh,
writing
but if it-
epitaph
Yeah,
for
there you
our
go.
characters.
In case
There
we
are
did
many
TPK.
names for how people remember the dead in a short group of words.
Oh, let's hear
And
that.
Yeah.
so I was kind of depressed and I was kind of sad. And then I'm like, okay, well, no, wait. We have to introduce our characters at the beginning. So I can't do the introduction that I wanted to do at the beginning because it's too sad. You know? So I'm like, okay, well maybe I'll just be like, hey, can I do this later on or something else? You know, I'll just write it down. And then the biggest problem with my character is that his name is Cal. and that is really hard to rhyme with in general. It's not the worst rhyme. And then I'm like, okay, well, and then I was kind of selfish and I wrote like 2 stanzas for myself. And I'm like, okay, well, wait a second. No, I need to do the other characters too. Just to like bring everybody in.
Delight us with your words of wisdom.
Veritas was really hard to do. Veritas.
Kind of a hard name.
Joyous.
Definitely see that.
I didn't know that the soft flower thing would circle around, but I was like, oh, he makes soft flower joyous,
Let's put a pin on that.
And then I rhymed with justice and justice, and I really liked that. I got lucky there.
Yeah, you did.
Multiple times.
You did really good with all of them.
And Ronnie was hard to work with because Ronnie's even harder than Cal.
God damn, we all suck.
And I said money instead of money, and then I tried to rhyme the E, the last E, his bagpipes always play and Slabaz hates it. Fall asleep and he plays for free. He sleeps on his bagpipes and they make noises, that was a whole thing too.
Which, by the way, I didn't know that no one can hear that shit until like half a year later. He said, oh, by the way.
I was so impressed.
To be honest, I think I messed up on a previous thing. And I think like something, granted, I did have an excuse for it. Like, I think they went to bed and I rolled bad. And I said, hey, his pipes wake somebody up or attract something or whatever.
Like almost a year bitching at the guy. But I only can hear it because I'm a friend.
Yeah. Only his friends can hear his bagpipes when he's sleeping on it.
It was a good running joke. It was a good running joke.
Yeah.
But no, I was attracted to Veritas because it's like the great Veritas. And it was like, that was after the session where he stood his ground to a banshee, which I was really impressed by. All 3 of us were trying to book it, and Veritas just like turned around and was like, "I'm gonna make sure my friends can get away down the stairs.
You guys go,
and
I'll take care of her."
And it was a weird change in the fight where it's like, no, we can actually beat this thing, and I started shooting at it myself, even if it's half damage.
Right, because Ronnie recognized that too, especially once he realizes he was doing the most damage.
It paid off. Good for Ronnie.
Yeah.
Because wait, Ronnie and Veritas are the ones that went down, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, the 2 that could really do anything.
And then
that was.
I
thought you guys
one
were
of
gonna
them
literally die.
And I think another person healed the second. The fourth
I
person.
pulled out a potion for that fight. Yeah.
Right. There we go. And so then I went to Ronnie and I had to define the character's name and their class and their race, and I had trouble with Ronnie. It was really hard because it should be easy if you just want to rhyme the last syllable, but if you want to rhyme the second to last syllable and the last, it's difficult. Anyways, Slabaz, your charming persuasion thing is really good. That was really good. So I was like, hail the charming Slabaz. And he had one simple cause. He kept bringing up investing the salty dicks and tits. And
all about making money.
I kept trying to counter you in my character. It's like, we need to kill the dragon. And then it's a good investment environment, like...
you should have been an insurance salesman.
Yeah.
And I had trouble with salty dicks and tits. He never quits. And I was like, oh, well, he does things for the effect, which is shits and giggles. And then I realized like, oh, I can flip it with just giggles and shits, and then, when asked why, it's for the applause, which rhymes with applause and one simple cause. Salty dicks and tits. And that was as far as I got with the rhymes.
You did really good though.
Yeah.
I started yesterday and then I went in today and I'm like, no, I need to double down. I'm gonna do this.
Hell yeah!
I'm impressed, man, and
indeed.
I like it because
I'm gonna print them in a nice thing and frame this shit.
I need to type it out.
So I need you to type it and send it to me. Yeah,
because not only did you rhyme so well and you laid it out, you had humor in it, but you also like gave bullet points to each of the characters.
It sums up I would say the entire campaign, but when you guys obviously came in because you guys weren't part of the earlier part of this campaign.
Yeah, we came in late.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the campaign took a stalemate, but that was for personal reasons and whatnot. But
man, I wonder now all those places we've been to, if they were with us, how would that work?
Yeah.
God, yeah, I will say this because I didn't say it before. In the I created Naru, not really thinking about it, and I feel like I fell in love inadvertently with that character.
I bet, dude.
Here's
fucking Fey Dragon.
Here's a question. Here's a question I have for the DM. Like after the Banshee, did the Banshee was that trying to kill us? Was it legit?
It probably should have killed us.
It's a banshee. It just mindlessly roams its area, and it's going to kill anything it comes in contact with.
For the record, that could have ended the whole campaign. We could have just died to a banshee, and that could have been the
those things are very vicious.
And I'm glad
you guys are
that we went from that hell to ooey dangerous Feywild to a heaven. It went immediately quick hell, uncertainty, heaven, very quickly.
5-star Fey hotel with a dragon host.
Dude, yeah. I was describing
where our emotions were.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely. Even with me, because I was like, I love this. I'm here sitting describing it, and I'm also now I was also listening and looking at imagery, and I'm just falling in love with all of it. I'm like, man, I love this music. I love this imagery. I wish this was a real place.
Hell yeah.
And I'm just describing. I was like, God, I wish this was a real place. I wish this guy exists, because man, I'll turn a little gay. I don't know. We're like, bro, let me live here forever.
I
way
told
cooler.
you, I was tempted. It was
way cooler than my life.
It off and retire here.
Yeah,
that was a thing in Critical Role. A certain very powerful character decided to hide in the Feywild. It was the best place to hide. Categorically, it's it makes sense.
There's a limited food, booze, shower,
right?
Genre. If you
Fey.
Well, it's Fey, but it's Fey is very regional. You go from one night and day to another night and day, very, very quickly, right?
We got a taste of that going from Norwest to the Dark Forest.
We got the smallest part of a taste.
Yeah.
How terrible that could have been, because
oh no, there are some dark places in the Fey. There are some dark places in the Fey. It's just the world like any other world. It's just like a mirror world.
I was most afraid of the Feywild. Because it's not just you can get attacked by a powerful monster. It's one of you can be bewitched and then just walk away from the rest of the group.
And then
so it creates
suicide,
a weird party split danger if one character
you could break up the party.
That's why a lot of the Fey creatures, why elves, when they go to the material plane, they're immune to being charmed and whatnot, because they're living in a world where literally charm is everywhere.
Right.
So if you're living and breathing it, it's not going to affect you in a world that's essentially lesser magical, if you will.
Yeah.
Because the Fey realm is literally it's heaven-esque kind of scene, but it's very magical. Yeah. It's it's almost where magic was born, almost right. Not literally, but
or maybe where magic was first before.
There you go. Yeah. You think about the earth in the comet of water that hits, and then after years and years it molted down and became water, and how the earth became earth or whatever. Maybe something like that, but a magic ball hit, but then split the planes. And
the gods created the Fey realm first.
Exactly.
D&D describes it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that much of lore. Hell, I don't know if I don't know if the people who created know that much. They're just yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of sure in D&D.
Any question you can't answer? Gods.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Gods. Well, yeah, guys. Thank you all for being a part of this journey.
Fuck yeah.
And I would say on to the next. And with that, a skull.
Skull.
Yeah. Peace and good night, and we'll see you in the next adventure.